A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Goldwyn from his gun.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace.
All right. I am Graham.
And I am Braden. Back again.
Yeah. We're related, right? Pretty sure.
Father and son.
Yeah, that's right.
Hence the name.
And we're back. And this week's episode, we have a main topic of Superman and the reboot of the DCU. Pretty cool main topic.
Fun stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Lots of opinions.
Yeah. And I think and something else that's worth addressing is I'm no longer medicated. So that's good. Because somewhere in the middle of our last podcast, I kind of blacked out. I don't even remember it, basically. The combination of antibiotics, cold medicine, and scotch apparently will knock you out.
I wonder if it made it better or worse.
I think it's way worse. I mean, I sound like a complete idiot halfway through that podcast. But anyway, I almost want to readdress. I kind of want to relitigate F1. I have so many thoughts. I can't remember if I even said them. But anyway, so I'm excited to talk about Superman. You excited to talk about Superman? Very
excited. It was maybe my most anticipated of the year. It's up there.
Yeah.
It was up there for sure. So yeah. I am excited to dive into it. But first, you want to break down our 10 and 20 real quick?
Yeah, let's get the 10 and 20 going. We are going to cover 10 topics in 20 minutes. We're going to go down and give our opinions, hopefully about 2 minutes apiece, and nail this. And sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. We're getting a little bit better though, I think, right?
I'm feeling good today. I think we're going to do it.
You feeling good? Okay, yeah. So I've got a timer ready to go, and we will launch this off. And I'm going to go ahead and let you take over topic number 1.
Yeah, which is actually going to be topic number 1 and 2. So we're immediately cheating, but we just want to give quick thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth. I saw it. You saw it. This is coming off of a major stinker, maybe the worst in the franchise, in my opinion, with Jurassic World Dominion. That movie was hot garbage, in my opinion. And so this was never going to be worse than that. It pretty much could not have been. Very low bar. It was, in fact, better, in my opinion. There were concepts of a plan here. But overall, I have to say it was lackluster, in my opinion. There were some shining moments. There were some sequences that got me excited, specifically.
Let's start with the shining moments. Let's start with what you liked.
I liked the action sequence on the boat with first. Well, there were a few boats, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I think all 3 boat sequences were great, in my opinion.
Yeah. It feels like 50% of the movie was on water.
Yeah. And everything there I actually really enjoyed.
So did I.
A lot of good tension, some severe anxiety, some really great CGI. There wasn't a shot in this movie that looked bad, in my opinion. So I'll give them that.
And shot on film. So that was great, and I think you can tell. You can tell that they shot it on film. It has a really great look to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But then that kind of leads into my problem is all of the other scenes I mentioned, I didn't really feel the stakes. In fact, this movie was really scared to kill off characters. I mean, we meet the crew, and it's pretty much, okay, there's Expendable 1, 2, and 3, and those are going to be the only ones who die. And that's exactly what it was. Even at the end, there was a fake death, and I knew in my heart, I was like, that wasn't real, even though it should be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it wasn't. And then
it
lastly,
didn't feel real because they didn't really even
give us a reason.
It feel as grave, and like it just sort of felt like, okay, he's good.
Yeah, and then through no explanation, he's alive, and everybody's happy. So it's kind of lazy, a little disappointing, because there are some Jurassic movies that I think are really incredible, really, really great. And this ultimately kind of falls in the middle, not the bottom, but the middle. And I think it's going to kind of fall into an unforgettable forgettable category. And it was just disappointing. I mean, I didn't have super high expectations to begin with, if I'm being super honest. But I wasn't super excited. I wasn't hating the movie. Like I said, it's going to kind of just sit right in the middle for the year, I think, in movies that I'm going to forget.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, which isn't as exciting as disagreeing with you. There were so for me, I think you mentioned the water sequences 100%. It was giving Jaws, obviously not Jaws, but it was really interesting considering how much conversation's happening around Jaws right now. We've talked about it. A lot of people are covering this 50th anniversary. This felt like Jurassic Park in some way, like paying some level of homage to Jaws. I loved it. I love sea monsters. I love that idea. I think that the Mosasaurus is the coolest part of Jurassic World.
Agreed.
And so I loved all that. I thought it was really well done, and I loved the tension there. Even when we got onto rivers, like just the water tension was great. The other thing to me that I really loved about this movie was the dynamic between the father and the daughters. I think this is a dynamic we often don't get. It's usually in this kind of situation where you're like forced to where they want to like manipulate us by putting kids in peril. The dad is either out of touch, he's a jerk, he's got a new young wife. I mean, it's all the things that we're going to be like, yeah, we don't like him.
Yeah,
or
it's a great point.
The flip side is the daughter is spoiled. She hates her dad. She's ungrateful, all that. There was tension between these two, especially the older daughter and the dad. But there was love. You could tell there was respect. There was they gave us a viewpoint of a father-daughter relationship, which I really, especially as a father of a couple daughters as well, like I appreciated that. I liked seeing that. That meant a lot to me.
That's an excellent point. It really is.
And so those are the things that for me I really liked. And generally speaking, I would say it was a fun popcorn movie. I was entertained. I didn't feel like I wasted my money.
No.
But there were a lot of things like, I could have used less of or no Dolores. Like I didn't need their version of Baby Yoda because I wasn't going to buy any of the toys. I know that they didn't put that in there for me, but I could have used without it. I also think that the movie falls victim to its predecessors, bad decisions made by its predecessors. Primarily the idea that dinosaurs are back, not just in the world, but specifically in Western civilization. I don't know how I'm supposed to be blown away by a giant brontosaurus-like dinosaur on this island that these people are seeing for the first time when an hour before they were bored seeing one in Central Park or wherever it was.
Absolutely. And this is actually really funny. I'm just going to jump in for a second here. Mm-hmm. This concept of people becoming bored with dinosaurs is hilarious because that's as if, I saw a video, so this isn't an original thought, but as if they opened one zoo and we're like, yeah, that didn't work. Let's not do that again. People go to zoos every single day to see lions and tigers and bears. And, the novelty of seeing these creatures has not worn off in real life. And these are greater. And
in the first movie, they tell us it's going to cost, $5,000-$10,000 to get into the zoo, right? Most people are not going to be able to do this.
Right.
Right. I get it. Yeah. And so you're right, because then the filmmakers fall victim to their own premise of the people are bored. So these terrible conglomerates are making these mutated monsters, but really at the end of the day, that's what they're doing too. And the big baddie at the end, to me, ended up looking more like a giant xenomorph than it did like any kind of real dinosaur. And it took me out of it.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we've blown through double the amount of time on Jurassic World Rebirth, but it's probably worth it. And let's move on to our next topic. I'll get it for us. We got an Odyssey trailer.
We do.
A teaser. And this was hotly anticipated. Also, a little shell game. I mean, at least when I saw it, all the trailers ended. I got an advertisement to buy Coke. I got another one to tell me to turn off my cell phone, and then they snuck in the Odyssey teaser. I was certain that I wasn't going to get it. I was ready to be angry.
Yeah.
But I did get a teaser, and I was teased. I was definitely teased.
Tickled.
Yeah. What did you think?
I mean, it's a teaser in true fashion, and it has to be because they just wrapped filming this movie like a month ago. This movie's still a year away. I'm glad we didn't get more. And funny enough, I'm not sure if you saw this, but IMAX tickets are going on sale tomorrow at time of recording. They are releasing
for the Odyssey.
Yeah, they're opening ticket sales a full year before the movie comes out.
Crazy.
So I'll be buying them, of course. This was, like I
I
said,
don't even know what you're going to be doing a year from now.
I don't, but well, I do.
Don't
I'll be
buy
seeing
it.
Odyssey.
Don't buy it. Don't do that.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
That's crazy.
No, dude. Get out of here.
A year out.
If I have to refund them, I will. But as of now, my plans are to see Odyssey.
Crazy.
Now,
Crazy.
that being said, great teaser. Very little shown. Just enough to say, hey, here's the movie that we're making.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be like kind of the general aesthetic to it. Here's a few of the actors who are going to be in it, even though you already know, and that's it. And I'm very happy.
I think it was key that they introduced Tom Holland.
Agreed.
I think they're relying on him to bring in the younger audience.
Yep.
John Bernthal is legendary for these rants.
Yep.
Like, you know, he does
Let
it
me
as
tell you
every
something.
character. Yeah. And they basically sat down and they established, if you don't know who this guy is, we want you to know that he's a badass and you should come see how much of a badass he is.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to buy tickets this week, but I'm for sure going to be there
Fake
on
fan.
opening night.
Fake fan. All right, moving on. Topic 3, we have another trailer. The Running Man, starring Glenn Powell. To me, this just looked like dumb fun. It looked so ridiculous, but kind of a blast. It's going to fit right into a category of somewhat sadistic social experiment that I sometimes find interesting.
Yeah.
And with Glenn Powell leading the movie, I think it's going to be a blast. It looks funny. It looks entertaining. I don't have much more than that. So
You've never seen the original Running Man?
no.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so the original Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger, this is an 80s film. It was a smash hit. It was big. It was part of like the peak of Arnold. And this was Squid Game before Squid Game. This was The Purge before The Purge. This was, quite shocking in terms of the subject matter, but also funny at the same time. And I think the combination of Glenn Powell, who I think is personally at his best when he's not taking himself too seriously, and Edgar Wright directing, I'm on board. Season tickets for Edgar Wright. I'm never giving him up. And I think he's going to bring a certain level of bizarre horror, sort of, to this film, and I'm pumped for it.
Speaking of that aesthetic, yet another trailer for Wednesday season 2. I saw the first season. I liked it. I wasn't blown away. It served its purpose. I binged it in a couple days and had a good time. But I will say, although I could have gone without a trailer altogether because I was just going to turn on the second season whenever I felt like it. But they make trailers. That's fine. I will say that it got me a little more excited than I probably was. It looks like they're going a little more mature, a little less family friendly, which is where I feel like the first season failed a little bit for me, a little too kiddish in my opinion. And I think that this new season looks a little darker. And so for that reason, I am a little excited.
I mean, I think Tim Burton is the master of straddling that fence between family entertainment and sort of bizarre gothic storytelling. So I thought season 1 balanced that pretty well. Personally, I thought it's Jenna Ortega at her best, and in this role, she really brings this to life in a great way. I'm excited to see season 2. I'm looking forward to some of the new guest stars, and it does look maybe a shade darker. We'll see, but I'm excited, and I'm glad to see Jenna Ortega back doing what she does best. Because a lot of the stuff we've seen since season 1 of Wednesday from her has been lackluster at best.
No, I mean, this is all-time casting. In my head, Jenna Ortega is just Wednesday Addams, you know?
Yeah.
So it fits perfect.
Yeah, she owns the role. She somehow successfully took the belt from Christina Ricci, who completely owned the part before that. So I think it totally works. Okay, let's get into another trailer. I think that's pretty exciting, even more so. But we're still in the Netflix world. We just got the trailer for Stranger Things season 5. And I've got a lot to say about this, honestly. I'm curious if you have any high-level thoughts, but I think there's a lot to break down in this trailer.
I mean, there's so much. I'll just quick recap on my thoughts on Stranger Things. I absolutely love this series. In my opinion, I don't know if this is controversial or not. In my opinion, season 4 was the weakest by quite a bit. That's my personal opinion.
I don't agree, but yeah,
That's fine.
I like season 4 a lot.
That's fine. I'm currently rewatching, and I'm up to season 4 right now. I'm 2 episodes into season 4, so maybe my thoughts will change by the time I finish it. But this trailer just reignited my passion for this series, or like my excitement for what's coming. I thought this was one of the best trailers, maybe the best trailer of the year, but one of the best trailers I've seen in a really long time. I watched it with my wife. We both looked at each other like 30 seconds into it. We had goosebumps. It ended. We turned it back on again and watched it again. Got goosebumps again. There's a lot that happens in this. I'm just so excited for this. I wish it wasn't months away.
Yeah. I'm pumped too. Listen, we got the quality of trailer that we've come to expect from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
They give us amazing teasers. They give us amazing trailers consistently. They know how to put a trailer together for this show and to get people excited. So I'm excited about that. Here's what works for season 4. Here's why season 4 is great. 2 things. Sadie Sink is easily the most compelling actor in the series, and it's heavily focused on her character. And
Agreed.
The second reason is Vecna is easily the most compelling villain that the show's ever had. So, pros and cons of the trailer. 1, Vecna's back. I'm excited to see that. That's cool. The second I hear him say, "I found you," I had chills.
Perfect line, by the way. One line from Vecna, perfect.
Yep, that's perfect. But where was Sadie Sink? Where was she? We see her for half a second in a coma. We see the back of her head for 1/2 more second. She was really the only star of the show that wasn't highlighted in some way in this trailer, and I thought that was disappointing. I'm really hoping that she doesn't spend 3 episodes in a coma.
No, I really don't think she will. And I think the reason for this is simply the fact that they ended the last season on somewhat of a cliffhanger with her character. So they don't want to give anything away.
I hope not, but that was a call out. I got a couple other call outs.
Yeah.
Okay. Joseph Quinn as Eddie, obviously we can't come back, but seeing that "burn in hell" written in blood on that gravestone was just chilling.
Yeah.
And we all fell in love with that character. Eddie was a great character. We loved him. And it's a bummer because Joseph Quinn is he's on a tear.
Yeah,
right now in terms
absolutely.
of, whether it's, from Stranger Things to Gladiator 2 to A Quiet Place Day 1. Recently we got Warfare. He's got the Fantastic Four coming. He's going to be in the Beatles films that are coming. This is it. So it's a bummer that we lost him after only 1 season. But anyway, that was chilling. Linda Hamilton. Do you know who Linda Hamilton is? Did you catch her in that trailer?
Of course I do. Of course.
Okay. And she's sporting a haircut that rivals the bad haircut she had in Terminator. Like, it was a terrible 80s haircut.
Bad.
Loved seeing it. We've got Red Guardian. Red Guardian is back.
Full beard, throwing grenades.
Full beard, and that shot of him throwing the grenades, it was like, that felt like Red Guardian to me.
Completely.
And then, the last little piece I'd see is, does Eleven fly now?
It looks like she might a little bit.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be great, and I'm super excited to talk more.
I'll point out one more shot because you got most of them, but one more shot that me and Nat both are like, wow, like what is this? Was Karen Wheeler and Holly in the bathtub underwater. That looked, first of all, amazing shot, and I just can't wait to see what's happening here.
That's Mama Wheeler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. That was great too. Yeah, I appreciated that too. So
I'm very excited.
about that.
I couldn't be more excited for this season now.
Yeah.
But we got to move on.
We're gonna revisit a topic that we touched on before, but we have a little bit more information, which is exciting. Pirate 6. Now, not just some of the returning characters. Disney is now identifying specifically Captain Jack Sparrow, Will Turner, and Elizabeth Swann will return. Am I the only one that's scared that they haven't said the names of the actors?
No. Yes, you are.
I'm the only one.
Yeah. This was not a thought that even crossed my mind. I think that's ridiculous. Orlando Bloom, 100% will be back. I'd be a little more nervous about Keira Knightley.
You don't think that if they said Johnny Depp is returning, that is more poignant than Captain Jack Sparrow's returning?
No. They are not rebooting this franchise with the same characters and different actors. That's just not happening.
You sound hopeful to me, and I hope that you are right.
If that happens...
They made a choice. They made a choice to name characters and not actors. And I got to say, it's making me a little nervous. Because have you heard yet? No one has said Johnny Depp has signed on. He's in.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure they're still negotiating. This is not set in stone. This is not 100% happening. This to me feels like a 85% happening, and it's up to the semantics now, or down to the semantics.
That's my point. They have not confirmed that these actors are in. They have only confirmed that these characters are in, and I hope that they don't F this up by trying to recast. Because I will be furious.
Yeah, no, dude, you're actually kind of breaking my heart right now. If they decide to go down that route, if they decide to go that way, I will be on the doorstep of Disney, shouting, screaming, flipping them off until they change their mind. Yeah, that would be just ridiculous.
I'm just saying I will not rest easy until I hear the names Johnny Depp, Keira Knightley, and Orlando Bloom.
Well, if I'm being so honest, I won't rest easy until the movie's good because we're on a bend of stinkers. But I'm hopeful.
Fair enough.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Next topic.
Yeah. One that I'm excited about. I think we both are. We're always agreeing these days. Harry Potter Season 1. We're getting reports that it will be filming up until spring 2026. And then shortly after a quick break, Season 2 will start filming very quickly. This is great news to me. Child actors, they grow up so fast. They really do. I'll give a quick example. Percy Jackson was a show I was very excited about because I love the books. That kid grew 1.5 feet and his voice changed completely just between Season 1 and the trailer for Season 2. It's ridiculous. He looks like he aged 5 years.
I don't know how old Dominic McLaughlin is, but he looks like 5. I mean,
no, he's a baby.
He looks so young. He has
and
such
this
a
is
baby
how
face.
it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. So I think, and the fact that they're confident enough to say, hey, we're going to start filming this next season before the first one's even out. That's great news to me. I'm excited about that. So then I guess we can touch real quick. We have 2 first looks at characters or actors as their characters. Break it down.
So we have our first look at Harry, Dominic McLaughlin.
Yeah.
McLaughlin as Harry Potter. And we also have our first look at Nick Frost as Hagrid, our game master. And so, or game warden or whatever we call him. What did we call him? You're the Harry Potter expert on this pod.
Well, he's I thought he was the groundskeeper. Groundskeeper. Okay. And then, and then a teacher for magical creatures.
As is consistently proven by our rounds of Harry Potter trivia, I am a shamefully uninformed Harry Potter fan.
That's all right.
But I love him. Right. But anyway, so Nick Frost. These are photos, and I will be damned if I'm going to litigate a 6-year-old as this part. I'm going to root for this kid no matter what. And
100%.
To me, it's definitely difficult to swallow when you have such an amazing previous example with Daniel Radcliffe. But he looks like Harry Potter.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's hard to really form an opinion, or at least your opinion shouldn't be so strongly formed on a still, right? Or a singular picture. I mean, it could be just so different once it's in motion, And so anybody judging too harshly, give it a chance or don't watch. Doesn't matter. Definitely don't go after the kid. I will say Nick Frost is Hagrid.
Let me judge Nick Frost then, because he's an adult. He can handle it. He doesn't even look like Nick Frost to me. Like I can't even see Nick Frost behind that beard and head. Yeah, and I felt something similar, to be perfectly frank, in How to Train Your Dragon. I've been a big Nick Frost fan dating back to Spaced, Shaun of the Dead, etc. Hot Fuzz. I love Nick Frost. He's great. I struggled with him in How to Train Your Dragon, and I look at him now and I'm like, I don't even know who that guy is, honestly. So the Hagrid photo threw me off a little bit. It literally looked like somebody else, not Nick Frost to me.
That's funny. I see him. And in fact, my immediate thought was, man, he looks really young to play Hagrid.
Right. But he's not young. That's the thing. Nick Frost is, he's got to be in his 50s.
And again, I wouldn't say that these pictures necessarily made me more excited or less excited. I guess they made me more excited to know that they're now filming. That's what made me excited about these pictures. And I'm excited to see a trailer when they throw one together. But here's one interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get to see the scar very much on Harry's head. And I think this is interesting for a few reasons.
It's a pretty good sized forehead. Shoot, did I just go after the kid? I didn't mean to. Apologies.
Damn. All right. You did not need to say you had a 5 head.
I did.
That's ridiculous. Anyways, rewind. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
we don't
Sorry.
see the scar. He's got a lot of hair covering up the scar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, typically, well, in the movie and then also in the book art, we have the little dash, right? The lightning scar.
Right.
I've always thought, this isn't my thought, but people have brought this up to me, and I'm like, this is such a great idea, that a lightning scar might actually look more like lightning, right? Like an actual lightning bolt across the sky.
Mm-hmm,
It might not just be a singular little, 3-line thing on his forehead.
Oh, yeah. You mean the description in the book versus the artist, the classic Harry Potter novel artist's rendition of the description. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I hadn't
Very
thought of that.
minor nitpick. It's not even really an issue, but if they're going with something like that and not quite wanting to reveal that yet, that would be something to me where it's like, okay, I feel like we're in even better hands now. Like they're paying attention to details like this.
Okay.
And that would be exciting to me. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm not going to be extremely disappointed if it's not that. But I think that there's a reason that they're not showing off a scar. Like that is Harry Potter. That's what makes Harry Potter is that scar on his forehead and his glasses, right?
Sure. I mean, so my thought was they don't want to tell us yet if they're going center or off center.
Well, you can see a little bit of it. You can see like the end of
Can
it.
you? So you think? So, okay, I'll have to look at it again because the off center scar was a big piece of controversy among book fanatics when the first movie came out.
I am more a fan of the off center scar than the dead center forehead scar.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Rooting for Dominic, and I would really like Nick Frost to be good. So hopefully, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the next rounds of cast photos we get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right, we have one topic left. We're only 3 or 4 minutes over. And that topic, I will start us off. Squid Game Season 3 has a pretty crazy end credit scene that actually may tie into a topic we've discussed previously. I'm kind of hoping it does. Did you watch?
I saw the scene.
But not the show.
I didn't watch the show. I watched the first season
right.
of the show.
So I mean, I've watched everything. I think season 2 and season 3 are better than the general reviews are of them. I think they're very good. I think were they ever going to match the phenomenon of the only original thing to come out in 2020 from Netflix? I mean, the world needed something better than Tiger King, and Squid Game filled that role perfectly. So the novelty's gone. I get that, but I think season 2 and 3 are good. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen this already, but basically what we have here is we have an end credit scene that includes the one of the main characters coming to America to deliver deliver prize money to a dependent, and in doing so, that person also happens to pass by a member of the Squid Game crew that lives in apparently America, recruiting people for Squid Game America, and that person is played by Cate Blanchett.
Yep.
In a really slick looking suit. And so the question is this: Is Cate going to be one of the stars of our David Fincher adaptation?
Has to be.
Because if so, I'm down for sure. But listen, we never heard that that they were going to squeeze that tie-in in, right?
No, we didn't know.
I loved it. It blew me away.
If she's not in it, that'd just be the most bizarre cameo ever.
It would be stupid. Yeah, it'd be.
So I'm taking that as confirmation.
Yeah. So I'm digging it. I love the fact that we got this news that Fincher was planning this American version of the Squid Game at the cinematic level, and then Squid Game Season 3 ends with this potential tie-in. Beak is wet. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Well, listen, you need to catch up on seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah, maybe I will.
And by the way, seasons 2 and 3 tie, like they're basically one big season.
One big season. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. But totally worth it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's our 10 and 20.
That was actually 9, but yeah, we did it. Or maybe 8 if you're counting Jurassic, but we can't keep going.
What do you mean? Did we skip something?
Our number 10. We skipped number 10, but it's okay.
Did we?
We don't have time.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes and okay.
That's okay. We'll touch on it next week. It's not pressing.
Oh, I see it now. We added it. Well, you know what? To hell with it.
We can't tell them. We got to build anticipation now.
We'll save it for later. Should we dive into the Man of Steel himself?
Superman. Absolutely. That's
right. Okay.
Very excited to talk about this.
We had a reboot of the DCU. It's been a few years in the making. We had James Gunn's first film, not only under his leadership as the studio head of DC, but as a director as well. And it's been pretty reasonably received. Would you say?
Yeah, very well received.
I mean, from a box office perspective, I think interestingly enough where we're at is it's at the 220 something range globally, and then you've got a higher number written down here. You're saying it looks like you've updated this, so we're up to 330.
That's what I saw last.
Okay, so 330 so far. That's I assume domestic and international, right?
Combined as of yesterday. So by the time of release, it's going to be higher.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I think I looked on Monday morning. So 330 or so as of Wednesday, after the Wednesday after release. So yeah, by the time we drop this episode, it'll have gone up. I'm hearing that to break even, it has to get into the 6 range, but based on marketing and budget and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, like without getting into the weeds too much on the business end of things, did you like the movie?
I did like this movie. I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. I do want to touch on what you said, though, real quick before I dive into my full thoughts. Okay. I actually saw an interview with James Gunn where they were asking him about this. How much money does it? It's being reported it needs to make 700. He's like, and he just basically was like, "That's ridiculous. It doesn't need to make anywhere near that much." And what I'm hearing is Warner Brothers will be happy with 500 million. Like that's where they'll be happy.
Yeah. So I saw that same interview. I've also been listening to Matt Bellany on The Town and some others, and there's I think the general sense is that he's hedging. You know, I mean, he's being a good studio head by saying it doesn't have to make this much money to be successful. But in reality, if it doesn't, it technically will have lost money. Now,
regardless,
that doesn't necessarily mean it's not
there.
It's that, yeah, man, and even then, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not a successful launch of the new DCU. But if we consider inflation, it underperformed Man of Steel in terms of opening weekend.
Did it really?
Yeah. So I think, yes, in terms of like domestic box office, Man of Steel would be 10 to 15% higher in opening weekend. Now again, maybe Superman will have longer legs than Man of Steel did.
I really think it will.
Which, by the way, Man of Steel is a film that you and I both like a lot.
This one is received generally much better. I think people are going to keep going for much longer to see this movie.
But you and I are we're Man of Steel apologists, and we're in the minority.
We are in the minority.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's my thoughts on the movie.
Yeah.
You already said it. It's a great launch to this universe.
Yeah,
it was
I think so. Yeah.
refreshing in a way that I was ready for. It embraced the fact that it's a comic book movie. It was bright. It was vibrant. It was hopeful. It was corny. It was just all over the place in a great way. Mm-hmm. It is by no means perfect. It is far from flawless, but it was just a really good time in my opinion, and it made me excited about Superman in a different way than I have been in the past. And it kind of made me look at how I feel about the Snyder Superman, right? Henry Cavill. Mm-hmm. Who I've defended, and I still will. And it kind of made me go, okay, I get it now. Like, I get why people were so upset because they wanted this. And so I'm able to really see both sides of it now. I still love Henry. as Superman. And I also now really love David Cornsweet as Superman. I think he is damn near perfect in terms of a recast. And I think he gave a great performance. I was sold on him as Superman 3 minutes into this movie. It just worked for me.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I agree. I had no previous experience with him. I know he's done a few things that I maybe should have seen, but I hadn't.
Twisters?
Or at least I hadn't. I have not watched. I haven't watched Twisters.
Okay.
I hear it's good. I have several people, including you, telling me I need to watch it, but I hadn't seen it yet. But I think the first time he opened his mouth, like the very first line delivery, I was like, yeah, he's effing Superman.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm in on this guy.
Yeah.
So I get it, and I didn't necessarily expect to be, but I was.
Yeah. And this movie really made me, and I think I told you this, or maybe you read it on my Letterboxd review. This movie really captured the feeling of the animated series that I grew up watching. The Justice League animated series felt like this movie, like in live action form. This is about as close to that series as you could get, in my opinion. And I really, maybe that's not for everybody, but that was something that I really appreciated. I grew up watching that series religiously, and right away, it just felt like an amazing translation from that. I thought it was amazing in that sense, and like you said, David Cornsweet, he opened his mouth and he was Superman. He's a large presence in the room, while not just being, a major threat. He found a really great dynamic there, and we can maybe touch on some specifics. We should maybe throw a little spoiler warning out there just in case.
Yeah, I mean, we've been spoiling a lot of movies already, but yes, for sure, we're going to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen Superman yet, pause the podcast and come back after you have. Yeah, I mean, so we've talked a lot in a high level about what I refer to as the Superman conundrum.
Yeah.
And that is simply, for those that haven't heard, when your hero is God, it's really difficult to find compelling villains. It's really hard to make sense of a world where you have a hero that can basically do absolutely anything and destroy any challenge in front of them. You have to create villains that are equally as powerful, which means that you have cities falling to the ground. And how do you come back from that?
Right.
And I think that a lot of superhero movies, even those that don't include Superman, fall victim to this, the general concept, right? You create these heroes that are so powerful that then you try and convince the audience that they have this one weakness or whatever, and it doesn't work. I don't know that I think that James Gunn solved the Superman conundrum, but I think that what he did is he ran right at it and he embraced it and he exploited it, and he basically just said, I'm gonna knowingly sort of poke at the idea. We all know. Yeah, listen. Obviously, everybody that knows Superman knows that he does have a weakness. It's it's what
Kryptonite.
is it? Kryptonite, right? Kryptonite is his weakness. Yeah, that was really stupid for me to not be able to say quickly. But outside of that, like, who can beat him up? You mentioned the animated series. Do you remember that episode in the animated series where Superman basically says, "I'm constantly holding back.
Yeah.
All I do is stop myself from destroying the world around me."
Yeah.
Accidentally, but right now I'm unleashing all hell and I'm taking it out on you. Who was it? Was it
Darkseid? Yeah, he says,
Darkseid,
"Let me show you how
right?
powerful I really am." Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Incredible.
And I loved that in the animated series. I loved that they basically said, like, "Oh, thank God." They solved the Superman conundrum by basically saying, dude's edging himself. Like, he is holding back, right? He is not
absolutely
ever giving us his whole self, because if he did, he could destroy everything. I loved that. And I think that to a certain extent that happened here, but it threw me off a little when the movie starts by saying Superman just got his ass kicked.
Yeah. Well, not only that, he then gets his ass kicked again. It's like 20 minutes into the movie before we see him even land a hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting as well.
I don't know. But listen, I had a lot of fun. I think that his sort of, as you pointed out, like, Gunn rather brings a joyfulness to the character. He brings a joyfulness to the world that obviously is a different approach than Snyder took, but to me, it works because he basically is like, look, this makes no sense, and I'm just going to admit that it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so it works. I mean, you literally have a scene where Superman and Lois Lane are chatting in his house about things, and outside the window, other superheroes, the Justice Gang, are fighting some interdimensional being.
I love that.
Superman's like, oh, they got it covered. You got it, it's fine. It's not. It's just an interdimensional being. It's no big deal. Like, it's a bit tongue in cheek, right?
But in a great way.
Yeah.
In a refreshing way.
So, I mean, personally, I would say that this is, for me, in my top 2 or 3 Superman movies ever.
Yeah.
And the controversial take is that the other movies that I would put in that top 3 are Snyder films and not Christopher Reeve films.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you were too young, obviously, but I think it's worth noting that as a young kid, to me, the Superman movies never captured my imagination.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that would be the case if it happened today, right? If you imagine yourself 10, 12 years old and a Superman movie comes out and you're just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Right.
Like, it didn't get it. And honestly, have you ever seen 1, 2, or 3?
Yeah, I've seen there's 5 or 4. There's 4.
Whatever, however many there are. They get consistently worse.
They do. I've seen all of them. And
I mean 2 and 3 are a mess. They're just a mess.
Pretty much all of them after 1.
But 2 is consistently lauded as this amazing film, and I don't get it. It's so clear when you watch 2 that 2 different filmmakers made this and the studio pieced it together. It makes no sense. 3 is a joke. I don't get it. So to me, I'll take Snyder or now Gunn's Superman over Christopher Reeve any day.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve's performance as Superman is, of course, extremely iconic and deserves to be. I mean, to probably 80% of the world, he's Superman, right? And that's totally fine. I'm too young to appreciate those movies as well as I could have. And so I grew up and Henry Cavill was my Superman, Yeah. And now I'm really excited about where we're going with Superman with David Cornsweet. I think, so I'm with you there. I'm with you in that sense.
Well, the point is I'm of the age that I should be the guy standing on the corner saying, Christopher Reeve is my Superman.
It'd do a lot better for the pod.
Yeah, but I'm not in this case. Honestly, I'm kids, don't get off my lawn.
Yeah, don't get off his lawn. He's
don't get
chilling.
off my lawn this time.
Yeah, I mean, let's dive into Lex also. I mean, just the biggest hater, right? And
Lex is the hater, or who's
no,
the hater?
Lex.
Lex is it? Oh well,
just
I mean, I suppose when you're a
grade A hater. And this was something that I really appreciated. Again, this was a Lex Luthor that felt very similar to what I grew up with. And he
was a little bitchy, right? He was.
Yeah.
He complained.
Yeah,
but I liked it. Yeah.
And he's so threatened by Superman that he just hates his guts. And I just bought it. I thought it was really great casting and a really great performance as Lex Luthor. You just hate the guy,
Yeah, he kind of had gamer vibes, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And actually, I'll touch on that real quick. This is honestly, off the top of my head, my one nitpick with the movie is that Lex Luthor, like, pretty commonly regarded as the smartest character in DC, in the DC universe, right? He's at least up there.
He's the definition of, like, the Megamind, right?
Right. So you're telling me that there was really no faster or more efficient way to control this being other than shouting out combos? Like, to me, I'm like, at this point, just give him a controller, Put him in a chair. Like,
you want...
There's
Ready Player One.
You're telling me, like, I'm going to go play Injustice after this, and I have to audibly tell my character what to do? That's my one nitpick. There's just no way that's the most efficient way, and it feels a little silly to me.
It's interesting. It didn't really bother me. In fact, from a certain perspective, I kind of liked it. I kind of because here's why. Because it made Lex the supervillain and not the engineer, or what did we call the other
Ultraman.
guy? The Ultraman. They were only as good as him, which was important, I think. I actually kind of think it gave Lex a little more credibility.
Okay, fair enough. And then, I mean, we have other characters too. We have Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern.
Way too many characters. Let's be real. To me, that's the problem with the film. Way too many characters.
I think the area where we have too many characters is when we are diving into the extra characters of the Daily Planet.
Well, for sure there. I mean, we've got, I forget her name, Michaela something.
Who knows?
That Gunn puts in every single film that he makes.
Yeah.
Who somehow, I mean, I have always just assumed that he was married to her. Turns out he's not. Because I don't know, I don't really follow her career that much, but I only ever see her in James Gunn films. What was the point of Kat? Why was she there? Just to bounce up and down?
And then the sports guy, and yeah, there was a little
There's
too much going on there.
literally a scene when they all jump in Mr. Terrific's thing, in his thing, and they go like, "You, come on!" And it's this other like black guy who we've never met and never says a single line in the film, and then we forget that he's even in the spaceship, right?
Yeah.
And then they land and he hops out, and I was like, "Oh, who is that guy? Why is he even there?"
There was not enough room for all of them. No. There's not enough room for the side characters. Literally,
that made no sense. And listen, here's my big hot take. I could have used 80% less crypto, like.
And that is a hot take.
Why this was so dog heavy. It was so dog heavy. This is my biggest gripe with the film. I didn't need the movie to be about. To me, this is Dolores. This is Grogu. Like, do I really need this much dog in the film? I didn't. I back off on crypto.
On this one, I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's a really great way. It's in a way, yeah. I mean, sure, but in a way, it's also a really great way to humanize Superman further. I mean, what is just the most relatable thing is a boy and his dog. I mean,
I'm not saying don't have the dog at all. I'm saying don't give the dog 80% more screen time than almost any other character than Superman.
No, the dog was in it like collectively 10 minutes.
No. Oh, yes. You're so wrong, dude. You are so wrong. Add it up. The dog had 3 or 4 dedicated action sequences himself.
Maybe like 15. Maybe. Like
Superman's not even there when Crypto is fighting all of the this was.
All right,
serious.
guys, listen. Clip it. He doesn't like dogs.
Way too much dog.
Clip it. He is a dog hater.
How dare you? How dare you? I am heartbroken right now over dogs. I just didn't need so much Crypto in this movie.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I liked Crypto every single time Crypto was on screen. My wife, everybody else around me, they loved it. I know. It was good. And let's touch on the Justice Gang real quick. Okay. There's only 3 of them. Okay. We can touch on them quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Terrific, pretty fun action scene, pretty fun performance. He definitely got the most attention out of the 3.
I would say for me, he's the big sort of surprise.
Yeah.
Of the movie, the positive surprise. Never been a fan of the character. Don't know the actor super well. Didn't love I was like, but I liked him in the movie. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was good. Then we have Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and I was ready to just absolutely hate this.
So the haircut is.
I mean, the haircut's bad, and there's what's funny?
It's like Trump bad. It's a bad haircut.
There are a few shots in the movie where it's combed or grown slightly differently, like pushed over to the side a little bit. I'm like, it actually looks much better, than just the straight bowl cut. It makes it more bearable. But in terms of the actual character and performance, I thought was very entertaining.
Nathan Fillion is good. He's just good. He's a good actor. He brings the right tone.
Yeah.
To what James Gunn's trying to deliver.
Actually, perfect casting for this character.
Yeah, and I just hated the haircut. It was hard to see past
too. I love the flying middle fingers. I love all that. And then Isabella Merced as Hawk Girl. I mean, she's also kind of on a little bit of a run right now. And
yeah, absolutely.
And the casting itself gets me excited.
Yeah.
The moments she is delivering dialogue and acting, I thought were great. I was not a huge fan of the screeching every single time she flew and smacked somebody.
Okay, so I don't super disagree with you on this. As I was watching the movie, I had this thought: Isabella Marcet is painfully underutilized in this film. Seconds before she finally broke in and started taking down bad guys for the first time, it just felt like they had Hawk Girl there and they just weren't doing anything. So I don't know. I agree. I'm glad to see her there. I want to see more of her. I think it was great casting. I think she is, she's riding a high right now between The Last of Us and other things. So it was good. So here's the one I want to call attention to is Metamorpho.
Yeah.
A character that to me is the classic definition of only works in the comic character. You look at him for half a second and you're like, what the hell is going on? But the fact that it was Anthony Carrigan, I didn't even realize in the moment. And I like him a lot as an actor. I think he's fantastic in Barry. He was really great in Gotham. I really like this guy as an actor. I didn't recognize him. It was 4 or 5 days after I saw the movie that I realized that that's who was playing it, which I think is a miss. Because he's a good performer, and the fact that we lost the types of things that he typically brings to a character, specifically humor, he's very funny. I didn't get any of that from Metamorpho.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, actually. I think out of all of the metahumans and whatnot in this movie, he was probably the biggest letdown. Metamorpho's kind of a deep cut that I was excited to see the take on, and ultimately I was like, okay, fine, and so here's a question: how do we feel about the Ultraman reveal of him being a clone of Superman?
I didn't love it, to be honest. In fact, for half a second I thought it was Henry Cavill with long hair
for a split second. Yeah,
and I was like, are they effing with us? What's going on here? And then I realized it wasn't him. But I think that reveal is exactly my number one critique of this film. It's got too much going on. It's just a little too much. There's a really famous quote from Coco Chanel, I think, in the fashion world, was like whatever accessories you put on, then take off too. There's just editing is important. To me, there were too many characters, too many plot twists, too many. He packed this thing as if it was the last movie he will ever make, and I think it is at times a little too much. And I think that reveal is a really great example of that.
Okay, I'm gonna touch on 1, 2, 3 things. 3 things quickly. Okay.
Good.
Maybe 3 of my favorite parts of the movie. Just quickly. It was my favorite part of the trailer, and it ended up being one of my favorite parts of the movie. The scene where the kids are lifting the flag with the Superman logo on it, and they're chanting Superman, and then the whole country starts chanting as well. Goosebumps. Thought it was incredible. Thought it was so realistic to what this would actually look like. If there's somebody who could save you, no matter where they are in the world, this is what you'd be doing. If you had no chance of survival except to be saved.
Yeah.
I thought it was really great. It gave me chills. It really embodied the hope of Superman and his impact to the people around the world. I really loved that.
Can I comment on that real quick before we move on to points 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Were there not similar? Did you not have similar experiences in the Henry Cavill films?
I did.
There are moments. Yeah, there are very similar moments, and those are some of my favorite moments of those films too.
And I'm glad you brought this up. So this is a huge complaint that people have about the Snyder films. Again, I've used this term before with you. Maybe you remember what it is. Aura farming, where I'll give you an example of where Henry Cavill is aura farming.
People
and
in
I'll
my
give you an
generation
example.
like to say Riz farming, but
Oh, no. Get out of here. I'll give you an example of where Henry Cavill is aura farming and one where he's not. And one of them works really well. One of them doesn't work, even though it looks really cool. The one that doesn't work, there's a scene of a woman and her child on top of their house. It's floated around them. They've painted his symbol on the top of their house, and she's reaching out, and it cuts to Superman. He's backlit by the sun and the dust, and he's floating there. And we see her reaching out to him, and it's just this amazing shot of Superman being reached out to.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot help but notice that he is just floating there for the shot. He's not saving her yet, and this is an example of it not working. For me, then you have an example.
But that's a Snyder choice, right? That's like sort of the way he does these sort of slow motion, speed up, slow motion, super fast, slow motion.
Watch the shot. Yes and no. I think had that been what he was doing, he should have done it differently.
Okay.
Because he looks in no rush whatsoever to get there. A scene where it does work is, I'm forgetting exactly the peril that they're in, but it's during Day of the Dead. He saves the people first, and then he stands there for the money shot of them all reaching towards him. Amazing. One of the best shots in those movies. It's incredible. Mm-hmm. And so that's an example. He did what he came to do, and now he looks awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
This movie gave us those shots once the work was done. And so I understand why this is important to people. And I would say, in fact, maybe my favorite shot of the whole movie was exactly this case. The building falls on the bridge. He catches it, holds it long enough for the lady to drive away. And this was going to be
we had several moments like that in this film.
Yeah, several moments. But this was going to be my second point, by the way, so it works perfectly.
Okay.
She drives away. He releases the building, dust everywhere. She looks in her rearview mirror, and he's taken up, like 10% of the screen, but he's just floating there, the dust around him, and he is just aura farming. 100% looks epic. And it was after the fact, right? He's making sure they're getting away okay, right? For me, my favorite shot of the movie, and although I absolutely love the shot that Snyder does where she's reaching out and he's floating there, I think it's a beautiful shot. I understand why it would rub people the wrong way versus this one. And so I think it's an interesting point. And I think it's little things like this that tell me James Gunn understands Superman, or at least what most people believe Superman to be, a little better than Zack Snyder did.
Than Snyder did.
Yeah, because Zack Snyder knows how to make things look awesome. 100%. Like, that is what Zack Snyder is best at, is making things look awesome. And that's one of the things I love about him. But I will quickly touch on my third point real quick.
Okay.
And it was maybe for me the most James Gunn moment of the whole movie, but I actually really appreciated this part. I love the closing out of, the family, the recording of his family that soothes him. I knew exactly what it was going to be. It was going to be his Earth family. Really great scene. Yeah. And then the song Punk Rocker, really awesome, fun song to close out the movie and start the credits off. I've been listening to that song on repeat pretty much since then. It's stuck in my head. I think it was a really, really great way to end the movie. And yeah, I think it's a great choice. It's very James Gunn, right? But in this case, I think it works.
So to me, the most James Gunn moment of the film, where I literally leaned over to your sister and said, "This is clearly a James Gunn movie," is when Mr. Terrific and Lois get to the camp and they're trying to figure out, and Mr. Terrific puts the force field over her and is kicking ass and doing this thing, and she's running around and I forget the song that was playing, but it was a classic sort of juxtaposition in terms of music versus action kind of thing that James Gunn loves to do. He certainly didn't invent this, but he's mastered it.
Yeah.
And it was Guardians 1, 2, and 3.
It was Yondu.
And it was and so that to me was the most James Gunn moment of the film.
Completely fair.
So but again, I guess I want to go back to the fact that to me, I could have used 30%, 40% less characters. I mean, there were just, this was so packed. And not, by the way, you don't even, like, most people don't even realize how many actors are in this. Go to IMDb and look up the voices of the various Superman robots.
Right.
Like it's insane. Like, he's loaded up. I mean, our girl Palm from Guardians is in there.
Rooker.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, I mean, it's a who's who. Like, for what did that robot have 2 lines in the whole?
It's
film?
a cameo. Yeah.
Right.
It's just to pay his buddies.
So something I want to touch on a couple other big performances though. I thought that Rachel Brosnahan was fantastic as Lois. I was not a fan of this casting. I gotta be frank up front. I was not a fan. I didn't get it. Honestly, she felt too old for David Cornsweet. But I mean, not like she's old, but just he seems so young. She just seemed more mature, I guess. Like, you know. But I bought her 100%. I absolutely loved her. I thought she was fantastic. I've liked her for a while, House of Cards and Marvelous Maisel, but she completely took over this character in a way for me that was as impressive as David on Superman. Nicholas Hoult was freaking phenomenal as Lex Luthor.
He was.
I absolutely loved him. I thought he brought and by the way, I didn't hate Jesse Eisenberg.
No,
but it was a choice. Like he was making acting choices all day long. He was chewing up the scenery, and so it was very clear that either you were going to love him or hate him. I thought Nicholas Hoult was fantastic. Let's see, our boy Gary Allen as Gary. I mean, he just can't go wrong. Apparently, when he voices a robot.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, there was some really good casting in this that worked for me that I loved, but I also still stand by the idea that there were way too many characters that I needed to figure out and worry about throughout the film. So I wish you'd backed it off a little bit.
All right, fair enough. Tell me this.
And too much damn dog.
Get out of here with that. That's some BS. So, one of the last scenes of the movie, we are introduced to Supergirl, teasing the Supergirl movie coming out in about a year.
A pretty good post. Well, it wasn't even a post credit scene. It's just a scene, right? It was like
feels like it should have been, but
because those post credit scenes were a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, they were a little underwhelming. I'll agree with you there. I kind of wish we could have swapped one of those for
the Supergirl scene.
For the Supergirl scene, which was a scene that I appreciated it for a few reasons. One, it explains why Krypto is now suddenly in Superman's life and not having been a childhood pet, right? So just for like kind of a technicality, I appreciate that, and it got me excited for this movie. Just she seems like a mess and ridiculous, and I think maybe the part that got me the most excited was when she's like kind of walking away, and I forget exactly what she says, but she calls him a bitch, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And then on top of that, today, I don't know if you saw, oh, actually, I know you did see. They released the first poster for Supergirl, and the slogan for Superman has been "Look Up." And the first poster is that slogan graffitied out, and it says "Look Out." And I think this is just genius. I'm more excited than I ever thought I would be for a Supergirl project, just because of these two things back to back. I think it was a perfect introduction to the character. I'm excited to see the story they tell with her. Yeah,
you didn't watch House of the Dragon, right?
I did not.
Millie Alcott was far and away the best part of that series. I mean, she just stole it. And the crazy thing is that it was like halfway through season 1, basically they advanced to like 30 years later, and she's gone as an actor. They replace her, and it was so disappointing as a viewer, because not because you didn't want to see the story progress, but because you didn't want to lose her and her portrayal of the character. She's so good. This is obviously an extremely different character, but my understanding is that this is that she does this type of character pretty well from some of the things that she did in, I don't know, Australia, New Zealand, wherever the hell she's from. And I thought it was cool. I'm excited, much more excited about the film than I was previously.
Yeah.
And interested in the dynamic.
So what do you give Superman? Letterbox rating.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5,
which is pretty good for you.
And yeah, it's pretty good for me. It's been a while since a film crossed 3 for me.
Yeah.
Although I finally got around to watching Warfare, which is a solid. I can't remember if it was a 4 or 4.5, but
movie of the year.
Just yes. I definitely have ranked it as my favorite film of the year, which is a bit of a hot take, especially in a year with where everyone is identifying Sinners as number 1. So yeah, I mean, it overtook Sinners for me as in the number 1 slot.
But back to Superman.
But back to Superman, 3.5, solid 3.5, which is a really, I mean,
that's a movie you really enjoy.
I did. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, there are things that I wish were different, but all in all, I laughed, I cried, I ate my popcorn. I had a blast, and I think that DC is in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've somewhat established that you throw out 3.5s about the same way I throw out 4s. And and so our rating systems are just slightly off from each other, but we have pretty much the same feeling on this movie. Mm-hmm. I agree with you completely on everything you just said. For the most part, other than the too much damn dog. That's a bunch of BS. But yeah, that's Superman. Dude. Good topic. I'm glad we got to see it. I want to see it again. I've heard it's even better on rewatch. That's what I've heard from multiple people. Once you know what it is, you can kind of appreciate it more.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see it
again. You know
what?
It's been an interesting year because I'm pretty sure that F1 is going to be better on rewatch. I'm pretty sure that 28 years later is going to be better on rewatch. For me, Sinners was even better on rewatch. So I think, probably Superman is going to be better on rewatch. So what do you say as we close at this topic next week? Why don't we run through the year in review and kind of talk through where we're at so far, 6.5, 7 months into the year. Yeah. We've got a pretty good idea. Has this been a hot girl summer or not? What's going on? Because I think we're going to have a few months of a lull, and then we're going to get into Oscar season. Yeah. And we're going to get hammered from like September on, October on. But I think I don't know. It feels like August and September are a little light.
They are. I'm excited to dive into the year so far.
Yeah. So cool. Awesome. Well, good topic. Should we discuss our homework?
Let's do some homework real quick. I gave you Speak No Evil. Mm-hmm. I already had a good idea how you were going to feel about this movie, but you go ahead and tell me.
Wait. I want to know what you thought, because you made the recommendation. So if you already knew what I was going to think, what did you think? What was that?
I was pretty sure you were going to hate it. But I was hoping...
But you recommended it anyway.
But I was hoping that you might have some appreciation for it at the same time.
Okay. Well, I hated it. But not for the reasons that you maybe... Well, probably for the reasons you thought. But listen, it's definitely a well-made film. It's definitely a well-acted film. There's a lot... But to me, I think, in my Letterboxd review, I basically said, look, this is not a bad film, but it makes you feel bad. More or less. Like I didn't like that. Like the entire, like I wasn't even halfway through. I was a third of the way through, and I texted you how much I hated the movie.
But you didn't hate it because it was poorly made or a bad movie. You hated how it made you feel.
I hated the watching experience of it. Listen, but this isn't to me just because I don't like horror. This isn't exactly horror, but I will say this. Within the horror genre or thriller genre, the subgenre that I hate the most is what's referred to as torture porn. And to me, that's what this was. Like we're going to destroy these people's lives just because and to see what happens. And this is why I didn't like the film. And I gave it a 2.5 because I think that it is well made, but I don't think it should have been made, I guess, is kind of what I feel, there is no character arc. No one learns or grows at all. They just survive or don't survive. And that's not good storytelling. So much so that, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Speak No Evil, our dad in this movie, even as we get to the very end, the best he can do is jump off the roof. After that, and before that, he's pretty much absolutely useless. He has to save his wife and child. It is a life or death situation, and he is impotent at 99% of the time. he didn't grow at all. Our female protagonist didn't grow at all. Like no one evolved. Obviously, our villains were evil from start to finish, and it was really potentially predictable in terms of what I mean. I was 5 minutes in, and I was like, well, they killed the family. They're not but there was just no growth. There was no arc, and to me, I don't believe that stories should be told unless you see the hero's journey on some level. There's various versions of that,
which is fair.
But I didn't get that. So to me, it lacks the fundamentals of good storytelling, and it just basically exploits trauma, and I don't love that.
That's fair. The only reason I had any interest in this movie was James McAvoy.
Yeah, and you're a fan. I am too.
And that's what I enjoyed about this movie. I thought he put on just a menacing performance. That's my takeaway from this movie.
Okay,
for the most part.
Compare that performance to that of, say, Split, where you have there's so much more character arc there. There's so much more like I know that James McAvoy is a good enough actor to play evil, and I know that he knows how to put on muscle.
Yeah,
but I don't need to watch a movie just for those two reasons.
Fair enough. I had a feeling we might end up here, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, so anyway, I watched it. I had nightmares. It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right. Yeah. What was my assignment?
I assigned you the Best Picture winning Unforgiven from Clint Eastwood. What'd you think?
I liked it. Obviously, there was no world where I wasn't going to like this movie.
Well, who knows?
I guess who knows. I like Westerns. And I like revenge stories. So that's something that I appreciate right off the bat. I don't even know if I should say this. I have somewhat of a hot take.
Okay. Yeah, you should. Listen, this podcast exists so that you can deliver those hot takes.
Yeah. This one might upset the oldies.
Okay.
And this isn't across the board. But I sometimes find Clint Eastwood, ironically, wooden in his performances.
And no doubt.
And there are times where it works. And then there are movies, and I'll give an example of a movie that I thought he was just not good in at all. Another movie he directed, $1 Million Baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh. You didn't think he was...
Man.
Sorry, you caught me off guard. You don't think he was good at all in that film?
No, I mean, I'm just watching it, and I felt like the delivery of every line I was just not buying. And I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that he famously does like one take, maybe two.
As a director.
Per scene as a director. And
yeah, he's known for that. The actors that work for him have learned over the years that they have to do their own prep, and they have to make sure that take one is their best take.
Yeah. I don't think that works. And I also felt that
his theory is that the inspiration comes I don't know from I don't even know how to say this, but
it's
over and over and over again the multiple takes, his actors lose inspiration, so he wants their initial impression of
in theory that works. In execution, sometimes they needed a second or third take. And I felt that in this movie during certain scenes. Listen, this is a 4 for me. This is a 4 on Letterboxd. I really enjoyed this movie. That's just a little bit of a hot take. And I have to say, the line where he just shoots the guy, right? He shoots the guy in the bar, and the worst guy
he should have armed himself.
Yeah, well, the worst guy's like, you just shot an unarmed man. And he's like, he should have armed himself if he's going to decorate his saloon with my friend.
I love that line.
He should have armed himself. No, I do too. Hardest line in the whole movie. So awesome. That was the moment, albeit it's the last 5 minutes of the movie, but that was the moment that solidified that movie as just so cool for me. It was. Yeah. I really appreciated that, and I think it was a good recommendation.
Yeah. In hindsight, there's part of me that wishes I would have recommended some of the older spaghetti westerns first, and had you run through Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Hang 'em High, High Plains Drifter, some of these others, because in many ways this is the creed to his earlier Rockies. But and I say that specifically because you talk about a wooden actor who's whose appeal is more himself than the characters he plays, it's not much different than Sylvester Stallone or at
100%,
times, right?
100%.
But so unfortunately, I made you watch the last, like the conclusion. So I think maybe pretty soon I'll have you go back and hit some of these other spaghetti westerns.
And I'll be happy to.
By the way, which is by the way a category that I'm actually surprised I never had you go through with me. You know, but
well, we'll do it now.
We never got through those.
We'll do it now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I think it's a great film. So, yeah, 50-50 on this week's homework.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Maybe, hopefully I'll win you over this week.
All right. What am I watching this week?
This week you are watching The Count of Monte Cristo.
Ooh.
I
love this book. Alexander Dumas.
I was just in Florida.
Alexander Dumas.
And my wife's family just emphatically told me I needed to watch this movie. So we turned it on as soon as we got home. Mm-hmm. It stars James. How do you say his last name?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
You know who he is.
Remind me.
His name is Jim.
I feel like
Jim.
Jim Caviezel.
Caviezel. Jim Caviezel. Jesus Christ.
Right.
You know.
Doesn't it also star Jesus Christ, man? Doesn't it also isn't like Antonio Banderas or something like that in there?
Nope.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
No. Okay.
We have Richard Harris.
Okay,
we have Henry Cavill. And
Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, young Henry Cavill.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And lastly, maybe I shouldn't have told you that, but I did. And lastly, it's really bugging me. It's escaping me right now. You know his name. Memento. What's his name?
Guy Pearce.
Yeah. Lots of interesting actors in this movie.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. I'm not going to give you anything. You know the story already, so it doesn't even matter.
I do. Yeah.
And I think you'll like it. I love the performance from Richard Harris.
I don't know how I missed this film. I think I was a sophomore, junior in high school when I read the book, and I will credit this book with teaching me to love reading. I think it's one of the best books ever written. I think to me it's in that sort of. I think it's a masterpiece. And I've seen other versions of the film, but I haven't seen this one, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the story, and it sounds like the cast is pretty exciting, even though it doesn't have Antonio Banderas. Why did I think he was in this? I have no idea.
Not sure. What do you got for me?
All right, The Count of Monte Cristo. Got it. Sounds good. Okay. I'm going to give you a totally different tone. I'm going to give you a movie that is in love with movies, and I think will make you fall in love with movies even more. This is Steven Spielberg's most recent film, The Fabelmans. I want you to watch it. I think it's fantastic, and I think it is Spielberg's love letter to movies and his own origin story as a director.
Awesome.
And I think that it's a brilliant film, and I think it really gives you a different perspective on who he is as a master of the medium. And I'd venture to guess one of the most influential filmmakers of your life, certainly of mine as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, The Fabelmans. It's an autobiographical film by Steven Spielberg.
I can't believe I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to get to it. It's on the watch list, so I'll see it this week. It's great,
and I think I can't wait for you to watch it. So some good homework assignments for us. And you know what? Did you realize that we've ranked and we've debated and we've disagreed, but not about who shot first? And just another day in the galaxy.
I did. So whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Yeah, until the next episode, remember that with great power comes a great second breakfast. I am kind of hungry, but winter is also coming, so may the force live long and prosper within you.
Because we can do this all day. Boom.
Love the shirt, by the way.